0.0000000000001% of the human suffering and problem with your fucking physicians on motorcycles or whatever the fuck they are, swimming with the whales or whatever they're wasting their time flying all over the world to, distribute some aspirin. What a pile of fucking goddamn crap. You want to solve a goddamn problem, then you get people to eat less meat. That's the way you solve problems, jackass. You cure the disease. And the disease is human desire, human ambition, this notion that we're accomplishing something, that we're doing something here because it fits into some DNA mission. Yeah, that's your morality. That's the extent of your philosophical genius, is that you go and you ask a bacteria how to live your life. Well, what does the bacteria say? Oh, the bacteria says, eat your neighbor. Tastes good. Eat your relatives. Tastes good. And it's all about how it tastes. It's not about whether it suffers or not. That's inconsequential, These people are this fucking stupid. And so I don't even know why Korea hangs out with these jackasses. But anyway, see, she stepped in too, though. She made this comment where she said something like, the great thing about the scientism attitude thing is that somehow you're sitting here with all these open questions, like somehow there's all these questions that we need to resolve, and you're seeking answers, and you don't already have the answers, and you don't have canned answers. Well, the canned answer thing, I agree with you. Yeah, we shouldn't be accepting 2,000-year-old superstitions as answers. But we have now a ton of fucking information, and we don't need any more facts. You're going to dispute a single... I'll give it 2 minutes, less than that. There's the 60-second version. All right? A piece of chemistry acquires the capacity to reproduce itself. Poof, reproduces itself. 2 billion years later, all these reproducing organisms have all kinds of tools and everything else because it was an advantage. So they were allowed to mutate. They mutated into having tools like teeth and claws and fins and wings. And one of the tools ended up being sentience, because this feeling thing was a great motivator. It propelled things through the humus. It forced them to go after things, to go get something. It gave them motivation. And so now they could go into the world with a complex agenda, a complex motivation. And they could have different ambitions. They could both want to get some food, and they could be afraid of tyrannosauruses, and they could weigh the risk. And now they can use intelligence. And so now intelligence became part of the tool, another scheming weapon. So now they could use intelligence to scheme to satisfy the motivational feelings, which in turn is just satisfying the requirement to consume and reproduce. And that's it. And so what else, what other fact do you need to know? That's the story of our existence, and there's nothing else to say about it except that there's this sentience thing in here that's just being squandered and wasted by this inefficient natural scientism bullshit. Nature is dumb, okay? Nature is not a scientist. Nature's a dumb, fucking crude forces. And fortunately, we have been able to, we can use the faculty of our intelligence to analyze the game. We can look at the maze, we can look at the players, we can look at their psychology, we can see exactly what we're made of, exactly what we're chasing, we can define all of that crap, and we have all the information we need. We don't need we're not waiting on Mendel to answer some question for us. We've got all the answers we fucking goddamn need to all the questions that matter. And the truth is, there's no goddamn creator, there's no other mission besides consumption and reproduction, and we're basically just addicted to chasing a tail, an illusion of value. There is no tail, there is no winning, there's no capture, there's just an endless chain of addicted humans being thrown into this mill to be gristed. So bullshit on that crap. So anyway, yeah, but it's just this whole idea that, innate morality trumps religious morality. I'm sorry. Do unto others as you'd have others do unto you is probably better morality than a bacteria's, eat your brother-in-law if he's in your way. So that's just bullshit. I mean, we're innately not moral. That is just bullshit. We're innately selfish. And it's only through conditioning and culture that we've become anything better. But without it, we're as crude an animal as you're going to get, and barbaric and nasty. We probably killed all our competing relatives. We probably killed Cro-Magnon Man. We probably killed him. So let's not aggrandize our innate morality. It's just more of this, So these atheists are just basically, all they do is replace, God with, LSD or quantum magic or Gaia bullshit or scientific naturalism, whatever the fuck that means. I mean, it's just a bunch of crap. It's just a replacement for religion without, so they extracted the dogma, but they're still got something that they are praying to, in a sense, something that they are being obedient to, and that's a stupid DNA molecule. I mean, I'd rather live the agenda of a make-believe psychotic god than a fucking DNA molecule. I'm not taking my orders from a DNA molecule. I mean, I know that's bullshit. I mean, better Winnie the Pooh. What would Winnie the Pooh do? Yeah, that sounds kind of poetic. What would Winnie the Pooh do? Yeah, that's a better question than what does my DNA say? Yeah, that's a retarded question. So anyway, fuck them. And that's about all I got to say. But yeah, I don't know why these guys do. They've got they talking like everybody's afraid of them. Why don't you have the balls to do Stickam, or some other medium, but this blog TV thing where you have to call them and where they, you're putting anybody. You got 5 people, you got them at a huge disadvantage, and what the fuck? So I don't see anything very courageous about it. So I'll meet you anytime in Stickam, anytime you're up to the argument. Because I think you're all a bunch of, I think you're idiots. I think you're motherfucking idiots. You can't figure out that a cow feels and that you have to account for the suffering it endures. You can't figure that fucking part out. And you have to come up with something to account for it, something productive, some value that you're producing, besides saying, well, I made a copy of myself. Now, that's not producing. That's not enhancing the equation. The only thing of value in this universe is the welfare of sentient beings. And if you can't figure that out, if you can't tell the difference between a 6-year-old with cancer and a 6-year-old, playing hopscotch and chewing bubble gum, then you're a fucking retard. Yeah, that's enough said. But these guys aren't as... they don't fart and belch like the amazing atheists, but they got just as fucking corrupt an ethical guidepost. They're just as fucking dumb and stupid. I mean, they can't figure out that animals feel. They can't. They can't figure out that the welfare of these other things is important. Not just because they are horny for it, not because they love it, but because they intellectually know it has value. But they're thinking that the only way they can know that is they have to feel it. Somehow it has to rub them some way. And that's the only way they can have an opinion. They can't derive an opinion through intelligence, through understanding that, oh yeah, that's right, I'm human, they're human, we're basically the same thing. If somebody else is happy, it's just as valuable as if I'm happy. Oh yeah, so it doesn't really matter which one of us is happy, as long as one of us is. Oh yeah, no, they can't figure that out. That logic flies right over their fucking heads, and these pompous asses will talk like they have the truth, like they have cornered the truth market. Fuck. Jackasses. Alright, enough of the video. The first one was better, of course, but yeah, too bad. This one was a little calmer. I'm sitting down, so it's probably nicer in some respects. Anyway, just looking at my dying plants and such. It's been a tough year. But it always is. I start off too slow and whatever, blah, 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 blah. So, till next time. The end. Yeah. Okay, let's go on to the cat. I can do little cute cat.